Hey guys, welcome to Comedy Trap House News. It's your boy Marvin Telp. And we start today's news with Kanye West. After a terrible week, I tried to say tumultuous earlier and it wasn't working. After a terrible week with everyone cutting ties with Kanye West, like from Adidas, finally, to every other organization that he has, and dropping him from a Forbes ranked billionaire to a regular dude only worth $100 million, Kanye has decided to go on his apology tour. And the first thing he did on his apology tour was cut ties with himself. Yes, Kanye West has cut ties with Ye because that nigga is bad for business. You have all of these sides yelling back and forth. Kanye's telling the truth and Kanye's this, and there are specks of truth in what he's saying. Maybe even more than specks, okay? Now, outside of the crazy ass wild shit where he just decided I'm going DEFCON 3, some shit he made up on the Jews, him saying people capitalizing off the black community is true. They are capitalizing off of our pain, our suffering, our poverty, or whatever. The culture that they are actually generating in this United States based on poverty, they're making bands off of. Whose responsibility is that? Because what needs to happen, if Kanye really wanted to do this and fix this problem correctly, he comes back to the community. He opens schools like Diddy and LeBron James. He comes and teaches people financial literacy. The black dollar is still one of the most powerful dollars, if not the most powerful dollar in the United States economy. Why? Because it moves faster than any other dollar. But instead of teaching support black business, instead of going back and creating rec centers, he decided to do this shit. There's a right and wrong way to do shit, and this one was wrong. Now, you go back into communities, you teach people their own power, and you teach them the power of voting to make changes, because the shit that we have isn't working. Speaking of the power of voting, it's midterm season, people. We've said this a bunch. Please, you've got to go vote. Gubernatorial candidate from the GOP in Michigan, Tudor Dixon, has come out recently and said that the Democrats are trying to overthrow the United States government because they lost the Civil War. Say it again. The Democrats are trying to overthrow the United States government. These are Trump's people. Overthrow the United States government because they lost the Civil War. Ma'am, have several fucking seats, because I don't know the fuck you are talking about. Is it true that President Lincoln was a Republican? Yes. Was it true that the Republican Party supported the freeing of slaves? That is absolutely true. That was the Republican Party of 1860 whatever. So what happened to the Republican Party? Over the course of time, there was this back and forth, this hemming and hawing, and then in 1965, when the Civil Rights Law was passed, the Civil Rights Act law was passed, the majority of the Democratic Party then left and joined the Republican Party. So today's modern day Republican Party is the party that opposed the Civil Rights Act. Duh. So for someone to come out and put this type of misinformation out to basically deceive people and get them to going, oh, that's right, the Democrats weren't shit. Shut the fuck up. We are not playing those type of games. But again, this is why it's important to go vote. Because right now in Atlanta, Georgia, yes, everyone who's a viewer in Atlanta, if you don't get your ass up to vote, because Herschel, not another kid Walker, is leading in the polls, okay? Now, why did I say not another kid? Because another woman has come forward saying that Herschel Walker walked her ass to an abortion clinic also. Now, we don't know if these are true or not. These are only allegations. But if niggas keep saying the same thing over and over and over about you, some of this shit feels like it might be a touch bit true. Now, Herschel Walker isn't the best speaker, so he can't really defend himself. And I'm going to give him a pass for just being dumb. But as a people, as a unit, as voters, don't put a dumbass nigga in office. And the reason why it's important is because a lot of laws are going to be up on the table for this coming congressional period, because what the Republicans are hoping to do is swing power. All right, if they can get enough people in, they got it, and they're going to pass a bunch of dickhead ass laws. First, they're going to make Biden's last 2 years kind of fruitless because he won't be able to get any legislation done, and then they'll hopefully push someone like Ron DeSantis into office, who is an absolute asshole who hates critical race theory. Just listen to this dumb shit.
Well, they will take a student, look at their race, say, okay, you're white, you're an oppressor. If you're black, you're oppressed. And think about what that does to a 6 or 7 year old kid. That's wrong. You're seeing that. You have people that are teaching, and actually his running mate has said this in the past, that teaching the United States was built on stolen land. That is inappropriate for our schools. It's not true.
Because we don't want to teach kids that America was stolen land, because no one wants to know that part of history. It's just absurd. And now we've been very focused on not just climate, not just economy, but also criminal justice reform. And just watch this video.
You pull me over, you say it's for your seatbelts, you're not wearing seatbelts.
Did you also know that we can just lie to you whenever we want? You know that,
For sure. Right? So you can. For sure.
Yeah, I'm allowed to lie to you about whatever I want.
We in the back seat, we're not even
I just can't lie to a judge. I just can't lie in court. To you, I can lie whatever I want.
And it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. The police are allowed to lie to you. As a public person, the police there's no laws garnering, dictating, saying that they cannot lie to you. It's fucked up. But what does this mean in long term? A lot of times, not just for traffic stops can they lie to you about what happened. They can also lie to you in interrogation. So during the interrogation time, the police are allowed to come in there and lie. Okay, one, which destroys cases because they can give you information that only the killer would know. But now that you know, because they've lied to you or you've agreed or said something, you've now made yourself more culpable. Also, what they can do is they can say, your boy John lied and said you did everything, and then you can panic and go, well, I didn't do everything, I did this. And in this, they can coerce confessions from people that are usable in the court of law. And then this is where we get into more trouble, because now when you're in court, outside of being lied to or lying or taking a plea deal because you think the other person's lying on you, that confession can be used during your trial. And if you talk to any jury, one of the biggest things that they'll ever say as evidence is the confession. And it was a fantastic album, actually one of my favorite ones from Usher, and the song Confessions itself, mwah. But at this time, this would be the worst confession for you. There are people in jail now who have legitimately recanted their confessions during their interrogation, or said, I was under pressure, I was nervous, I was scared, and I confessed to something hoping for a smaller or lesser case, when it just wasn't true. These juries now hold on to these confessions because why would someone confess for something that they didn't do? Because they've never been in a situation where it's like, I can confess and probably kind of save my life, or someone can lie on me and I can go to jail forever. So these confessions hold so much weight, and then finding guilt and innocence, and then once you're found guilty in the United States court, it is damn near impossible to get out. They don't need to have evidence. You don't have evidence. They don't need to have anything more than that little ass confession. And once you're found guilty, the appeal process is difficult, because it's not about whether or not it's true or not. It's about whether or not the case needs to be retried. People, please understand that in any situation, the truth is your best friend. The truth will set you free. Maybe not if you got some shit in the back of the car that you shouldn't have had back there, but the truth will at least get you a proper sentence, as opposed to trying to negotiate this. So people, be smart, be safe, and always fuck the police. And that's our time here on Comedy Trap House News. I'm your boy Marvin Telp. Peace. If you enjoy this show, make sure you check out the rest of the shows on the Comedy Trap House Network. Mayhem Hour, Mic Drop, and of course the OG, the Comedy Trap House Podcast. Also, follow your boy on Instagram. And again, if you like all things nerdom, anime, Marvel, MCU, etc., follow us at the Coolest Nerds You've Ever Met podcast. Thanks for spending time with us at Comedy Trap House News. It's your boy Marvin Telp. See you when we see you. Peace.